And now, Portland's own concrete5.org.
Good morning. You're watching Totally Random, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, every Friday. I'm the Friday with the CMS Patrol Squad. We thank you for tuning in. Sit down, buckle up. Thank you.
Sweet. Hello, and welcome to Totally Random. Most exciting Totally Random ever. We're going to show you parts of Concrete 5.5 today. You are excited. We are excited. It is exciting. Alright, that's enough of that. Was that awesome? That was awesome. Have you ever seen anything awesomer? No. Can you hook up the proper lighting situation, Gaffer? Well, welcome. Hold on a minute. Quick change in lighting. There you go. That's right. Hello. All right. Sorry about the delay in getting this stuff working. It turns out that the ancient version of Ustream Producer and the newest version of Mac OS X don't work all that well together. We're back with you now, and we'll go as late as we need to go here within reason to make it up to you. Let's get some standard weekly news out of the way first, and then we'll get into exciting previews of 5.5. So, we saw that someone is starting a Concrete 5 meetup in San Francisco. That is very exciting. Obviously, having a strong presence in San Francisco is good for any web-based company, and we're really happy to see someone taking the bull by the horns and riding it to a meetup of good times, I'm sure. So if you're in San Francisco and you'd like to find fellow people who love Concrete 5 and position yourself as an expert as things start to really take off for us here, you should go to meetup.com, find the Concrete 5 in San Francisco group, go to that and enjoy yourself. I'm sure it will be a good time. In other news, some people won some badges for doing stuff. What did people win badges for? We gave some badges away this week, right? Badge away there, Greg?
Yeah.
Yes. Greg gave a badge to someone. Matt, did you give badges to anyone? What do people get badges for?
I went to the forums this morning and found some threads where people were helping out each other and getting everyone's problems resolved. Looks like MKLY got a silver star.
Nice.
Sky Blue Sofa also got a silver star, as
Great.
did Christian B. And then we got a gold star number 2 for Ollie Phillips, who seems like he's been all over every thread that needs help.
He's a trooper.
He's been a real rock star this week. And we also have a badge going out to Wagdi from the UK. We had a visitor show up.
Oh, yeah, that was exciting. I was out of the office for that, but apparently one of Wagdi's clients just showed up and wanted to see if we were actually real live humans, which we, in fact, are. So she got some stickers and stuff, and that's always nice.
She got the tour.
Got the tour, the extensive office complex. Got past security, all that. Cool. Let's see, for showcase today, and kind of a little bit of how would we do that, we wanted to just give you a sneak preview of a site that we actually just redesigned and rebuilt ourselves. I'm not going to talk too much about it because we've actually got a video that Matt has been working on about the entire process and how it went, so I don't want to spoil it, but we'll show you, I guess, a little sneak peek of that. Do you want to do a before and after, or we're just going to do an after?
I think we just got an after for now. I don't have
Okay.
a screenshot from before ready to go.
Cut on over.
So this is the new site we produced.
This is for a good time, and there's a sideways scroller type deal there. I think we're using the slideshow block for that. We've got a whole bunch of stuff going on the homepage. Honestly, those are mostly just content areas. We looked at, should we use the FAQ? There's several different FAQ blocks. We thought about using one, and we realized, it's a lot more likely that the content in there is going to is organically going to change in unique and interesting ways. If the client wants to put a sponsor logo in the top questions section, we don't want to give them a technical limitation of, hey, you can't do that. So most of the stuff is just HTML content blocks with a lot of styles built into typography CSS, so we kind of limit some of the funkiness that's likely to happen as the thing grows over time. So there's your ye old homepage, and then show them the detail page, Matt.
So all these info pages, it looks like we got some funky displays when we're all zoomed in like this, but or zoomed out rather. So the detail pages all cover the info people will need to register and sign up for the run. We pulled these out of what was left of the old site, which was mostly like some copy decks and such. So the client has all put all this stuff together and told us what to make look in different ways. A lot of text to know if you're going to join a race and run.
So on each one of these detail pages, that header image gets pulled from page defaults unless you go into the specific page and override it for hey, we want this image on that page, in the same way as the sidebar with the sponsor logos in it, right?
Yeah. We also have a bunch of sponsor logos over here the same way. I ended up building a third page type at the very end to show off some photos they wanted to make.
Oh, look at that. I didn't see that. Good job.
Yeah, he wanted some white borders around stuff, so we added a third page type just to accomplish that, and bottom nav, and just making, I guess it's about a few different page lists down there, and
Nothing says Portland more like than a run with pints of beer at the end.
And crazy costumes.
Yeah. There's some pretty entertaining photos on here.
We used the survey block to do this t-shirt or sweatshirt design contest. And it looks like design number 2 is in the lead.
Nice.
Oh wait,
cool.
No, design number 1.
Oh. Yeah, design number 1's better.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, that's the little one that we banged out recently. So always happy to have URLs submitted from you all, so we can do how would we do that in more detail. Yes. Let's see. In other news, we got Karma Machine has won. Some new Karma winners. Do we want to talk about who those are? I'm going to bring up the Karma prize winning page leaderboard thing, and I can look over your shoulder and read their names.
Bringing it up.
You go to community, you go to Karma. If you don't already know about Karma, you can win awesome licenses and stuff by contributing to the community, by helping people, by promoting the project, or actually doing development work. That was a cool call there. All right, looks like Minkris won a copy of the discussion forums. Well deserved. Perhaps not the first copy of the discussion forums that Minkris has won, but nonetheless, I'm sure he will find good use for them. I can't read that.
That is Pendragon. He's the guy who's doing the meetup in San Francisco.
Oh, nice. So he won a contact directory add-on for that. And I'm sure as he continues to run more of those, he'll continue to win more stuff. It looks like Minkris won something else for actually doing work, both helping people and doing development work. He won a document library for that. So good job, Minkris. Well deserved. Wouldn't be here without you. So thank you very much for everything that you do. What else? I think that gets us into PRB. You ready to talk about the PRB, Andy?
Sure.
Okay. I'm too excited.
Our new table setup.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
This crotch was totally random.
Oh yeah. This is good. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, we Matt, Greg, and Ryan went through some add-ons throughout this week, and we have a few that we have approved.
Cool.
First one is Dojo Page Filter Pro, and this actually replaces an add-on that was in the marketplace called Dojo Page Filter, and
Uh-huh.
basically it's just a new block that you can use to kind of give your page list a bit more flair. So there's custom templates, thumbnails, and if you actually click through to the demo, man, there are some good. There's a good example of it actually in practice. So on this page that's loading, we've got a kind of
Beautiful. It's amazing.
I know.
There we go. Woo.
So sliding graphical interface for your page list. So this does actually, these are custom templates for the page list, which is interesting because there's some block actually interfaces in his screenshots. So, but yeah, and there's this is an example of it. So this would be good for a portfolio site or any kind of site that you need some visual flair on. Shows the info, and there you go.
Nice. I like that. It's pretty.
Yeah, it works well. We have another add-on that extends the page list. This is called infinite scrolling. And this, as the name implies, adds infinite scrolling to your
I would
page
like
list.
to just say that's a nice icon right there. Kudos.
Nice.
It's got the infinity signs, nicely styled, doesn't have the name of the add-on in the thumbnail. That's a good looking thumbnail.
Good job, whoever. Unfortunately, your demo is less awesome because it has localhost in it.
Of course, the screenshots you might be able to take a look at. That,
Yeah. So this basically is, I think I played with this when it was still in the PRB. So it's just I can't remember the exact implementation details of it, but when you're done, you have you have a page list that you set up pagination on, but it doesn't show page numbers instead. Which kind of works the way our own site works.
Custom
We have-
template for the
yeah.
page. Yeah, makes sense.
We use the page numbers hidden to load stuff through Ajax. Moving
Cool.
right along, we have a new add-on, actually a theme by JB1 called Mobile App.
Nice.
So this is complementary to some of the other mobile theme frameworks in our own site. It's a bit more full-featured than the one that we have in there, and priced accordingly. This is basically a way to take a concrete5 site and turn it into a mobile app.
Cool.
So I don't know off the top of my head whether this is built specifically for making a site that runs in both.
I believe it's not.
Yeah, this is really a framework for building a mobile app. So you have a
Yeah.
custom icon for your stuff. It's got custom templates for a ton of concrete blocks. It's got a sort of touchable gallery.
Nice. Nice.
And custom page attribute for a back button. The kind of stuff that you would need if you were building a mobile app versus a site that has to look good on a mobile device.
Yeah, the
And
comment I saw Ryan post was that it wasn't going to work with the theme switcher. It was more of like, and you could still have one site and use this for part of it, but you'd probably define part of your tree.
Yeah,
as,
you
look,
would-
here's the end page.
Yeah,
and
and we
it's on the
forward them
mobile side.
on for the particular user.
Redirect them over to the mobile side, which is a perfectly viable way to solve the
Yeah.
problem. You can still share assets between it and things like that.
I mean, probably for some things it would make it a lot simpler to.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice work. And
Very cool.
Nice to see more premium add-ons get
Yeah,
there too.
yeah, it's still very affordable for anyone who actually needs a mobile app.
Totally.
Little swipe events and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. So nice work, JB1.
Good job.
And finally, we have a video gallery called Vimeo Gallery.
Oh.
This, links to Vimeo videos and shows them in a nice light box.
Cool.
So the demo for this is pretty compelling from a front end perspective. This is a free add-on, so it's pretty cool.
That's good.
So yeah, these are all videos hosted on Vimeo.com. If you click on them, they show up in a light box.
Nice. Pretty pretty.
Yeah. So good work. Nice job, everyone.
Super duper. Thank you. That's awesome. Great to see the marketplace continuing to grow.
Yeah.
You seem to be.
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing those PRB pushes. We are, with all the stuff we've been working on, there is a little bit of a backlog, but we're committed to working on it every day.
We
So,
got in there.
yeah.
Cool. So, any questions so far? Any questions on the basic news and this and that?
Yeah.
You're
No,
gonna
I think
stop?
we're good.
No,
I'll
we're
see you
good.
later.
Okay. See you later. That was it for totally. No, joking.
People will be pissed.
All right, so we are we have been working on this for quite some time. and we've been keeping it to ourselves just because it has been a very organic design process, and it's been a lot of decisions made on the fly, a lot of, well, it could look like this, what if it looks a little bit more like that, how do we get it even a little bit better? And we really wanted to get it dialed in to kind of what our vision was, and our vision tends to mature, focus slowly over time, perhaps, and that's not always the prettiest of processes. So, to be frank, we just didn't necessarily want to share that. But we've got it together now.
The sausage making.
The sausage making, exactly. The sausage making, not always so pretty, but the sausage tasting,
very
delicious. So we're getting to the sausage tasting part of the project now, I think. But we've got our schedule together. We're committed to getting this thing in everyone's hands by the end of November, which means that we're going to need your help. We are basically reskinning the entire, not basically, we are absolutely reskinning the whole app across the whole thing, and there's a lot to do there. We've got the thing more or less figured out in broad strokes, and so what we've done is we've kind of made 3 lists. We're working through a list of things that we just really need to dial in before we can open it up and get anyone's help. So we're calling that our Skunk Works phase, which we've been in for essentially, I guess, this entire year. But we are committed to making that end at the end of the month, which is just 2 weeks away. We will then be going into an alpha phase. Alpha will be a good deal more controlled than our typical beta process. Usually we get to a spot with a release and we're like, yeah, we think this is good, beat it up for bugs, and within a couple of weeks, week or two, we release it. That's not what we're talking about with this next phase. We're really going to get to a spot where we need your help to finish things up, where we know there's all sorts of bugs everywhere. It is an alpha. It's there, but we need help. So what we're asking is if you have time and the wherewithal to give us some development hours in early November, we would like you to volunteer, and we'd like you to actually commit to giving us a block of hours to doing some work that we will assign to you. This is not like a, hey, do whatever you want, whenever you want kind of problem. We need to get this thing out the door. So I can pay people to do it here, but I would much rather have help from the community to make it happen faster. So there's going to be a whole lot of rearranging forms, styling things so they follow a style guide that we'll spit out. We will dedicate time to making sure that everybody knows what they need to do and when they need to have it done by. But we're really talking about almost an event-like volunteer coordination experience. So we're going to start to leak some screenshots and whatnot. I think this week, and then next week we'll do the same thing. We'll show you a little bit more, and then by the end of the month we will do a straight-up kind of, I think, real-time tour, we'll screencast from your box or something, kind of poke around a little bit. All of the hopes that will entice you to volunteer some hours in early November. And we can kind of match you up with a task that makes sense for you, and we can bang this bad boy out and hopefully get it into beta mode by mid-November, so we really can't share it with anyone who cares to take a glance, and they can just beat it up and find all sorts of bugs. So that is the plan. That being said, Matt, let's bring up screenshot number 1.
They're all blurred, the previous screenshot.
Okay, so are we actually looking at that?
We're looking at it.
Fantastic. So, there's a progress indicator on install.
Yes.
That probably deserves a little bit more discussion. We've kind of hinted at this in other previous totally randoms, but we have changed the install procedure pretty dramatically. It's skinned differently in a slightly more attractive fashion. You can do everything very, very elegantly from one page, which I guess you could do before as well. But functionally, some cool stuff is going on here. We let you pick from a package on install. There's new, what are we calling these things? Starting points. Yeah, so there's new starting points. Starting point is basically an entire dump of a site. So there is now built into your concrete5 install a way that you can essentially export your entire site as one big ass XML document.
Yeah. There's you can export. Yeah, there will be a free package that you can put in the market, that we'll put in the marketplace, that will take an existing concrete5 site and export content in a format that we can then re-import it. It's not really it doesn't get 100% of your site. It's not really suitable for backup.
No.
But it is a way to easily create what you can hand tailor into starting points for concrete5 sites.
A snapshot of your site,
snapshot
as
of
it
your
were.
site. And so, like, whenever we tried to change the sample content that we had in concrete5 before, it started out as a PHP script that we scripted through the API, which was cool because it showed that we could do it through the API, and that was originally why we did it that way. And then we decided to go through a SQL MySQL dump, and that works well. But like, whenever you do that, you have all sorts of IDs and internal references that you don't need when you're re-importing into a completely new site, and you don't want. And so, and it was just really painful to do anything with that. So what the goal of this is to install concrete5 blank, tailor it exactly how you want, hit export on the thing, stick it in an XML file, and you will create yourself a new starting point definition.
Starting
you
point.
can always start from that. And we will ship with a few.
We'll ship with a few, and the thing is clever enough to, you can actually define all of the variables, correct me if some of this is 551 at this point, but you can define all the variables on the install page in a text file, config file.
Yep.
You can point to a starting point in a directory. We still do sequential starting point? We stack up a couple?
No, you can only do
single
one,
starting
but
point.
they can reference packages.
They can include packages. So you can do essentially programmatic one-click installs. I want an e-commerce site. I want a church site. I want this site. I want that site. With a little bit of work, not a little bit of work. If you
Just make sure you
configure
have all
things
the stuff
properly,
in your local install.
you can
Yep.
one-click this stuff, and no one will even have to see it.
Yep.
Yeah, super cool for
Yeah.
all of our white labeling type of people.
Yeah.
So that was screenshot one. Plus, it does it all. It does a basic install, and then it applies the starting point. So that's why you were seeing the progress indicator. It's got a nice little system built in there, so it won't crash.
Yeah. So as you might imagine, we backed up off an XML-based import or a script-based import because it's a bit more intense for a database than just a SQL import. But we are moving back to it. But hopefully, the fact that we are doing these through smaller, it's all happening through multiple AJAX requests. That does smaller bits of work. Hopefully, it's less likely to time out and memory error that way. So
Yeah.
and we'll be testing these on low-end sites and stuff like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Any questions on that so far, Matt?
Yeah, we got one from HureNT. He wants to know, does that include installed packages and pages and everything?
Yes.
Yes. You have to have the package available locally, but you can reference a package, and everything you spit out in the export can reference a package, which will then be synced up when you install it, provided you have the package there.
Yep.
So, yes.
I see that performance question. How many parts in C5 core should know to be the most resource intensive that could be optimized performance-wise? Yeah, there's a few things that we've optimized in 5.5 pretty dramatically. If you're talking about 5.4 dot whatever, there's probably all sorts of ways to make your site run faster. Probably deserves to be a forum discussion. Depends on what your site does, where it's hosted, and kind of how it's built. So a lot of ways to optimize it. We ready for the next screenshot? I am.
All right. Let's do this.
Do it.
Shanana! So when you install concrete5, in the past, you get dumped to your homepage with some content that we threw in there in the hopes that you would maybe read it. Now, there's a nice little overlay that actually will explain what concrete5 is in a way that will make sense to you. You can click to get rid of it quite easily. So if you already know concrete5, you can be like, no thank you. But if you are new to concrete5 and you discovered it on your hosting provider through Simple Scripts or something like that, which honestly the vast majority of our users are,
You don't know what the heck anything is.
Anything is.
Yeah.
This gives us an opportunity to tell you. I don't think I included any screenshots of what these actual wizards look like, but we use the same window and very nice layout with a lot of illustration and friendly tone to explain what concrete5 is, what it does, how it's different, and how you should engage with it, really to our 3 or 4 different audience types. So we have we're calling them wizards for kind of a site owner, non-developer, non-designer, kind of noob, as you might refer to it. that really takes you through what concrete5 is and how you can edit a page and how that, maybe a starting point, that kind of basic stuff. We've got one for developers that introduces concepts like the override structure, single pages, the stuff that you find people going into the forums and saying, gee, how do I do amazingly obvious thing that I should probably know how to do? Now there'll be a little 5-page wizard that kind of introduces those concepts to people. Same idea with designers. I've seen people on Twitter say, people only spend a couple of seconds looking at it. I've seen designers on Twitter complain, I would never use concrete5, design a page using layouts? No, you're not supposed to design a damn page using layouts. Like, exactly. How do I change the site name? We're going to cover all that stuff in these wizards. In fact, that even gets better. And then the last one, we even have a wizard for the business end of things. Why should I use concrete5 for my agency? How can I do white labeling, things like that. So,
and you spoke about white labeling a little while ago.
I did.
This overlay is actually content pulled from a page on your site that lives within the dashboard, which is controlled by that import script that we were just talking about. So you could completely change that content for different installs and bundle that up as part of your starting point package.
Yep.
So, if you're building sites for people, you can have them say, go to your install and it'll set it up and they'll get a customized logo, they get whatever.
Welcome to Cement 6.
Yeah,
I did a better job of explaining this than Franz and Andy. More power to you. So that's very exciting. There's more stuff in that direction that is even more exciting that we're not going to tell you about this week, but you'll learn about it maybe next week.
How many screenshots did you include?
I cut them down a little bit. Unless you sent me. Yeah. So let's fire up the next one. Once you're done with your wizard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So here we are, starting to look at edit mode, and it's different. Right off the bat, we have consolidated a bunch of the stuff in that bar into a drop-down menu from Edit. You also see a lot of the styles feel very similar to the Bootstrap project that Twitter released a month or two ago. So no longer do you have the toolbar kind of like expanding out to have all sorts of stuff like move and permissions in it. That's just a little sub thing down from Edit. We're kind of showing you more stuff when you need it and less when you don't.
You don't have to check a page out to do the stuff that you
right.
do from the sitemap. It was always a little irritating if you wanted to come to a page and change its properties or something like that. You'd have to click edit in order to get the yes, thank you. You'd have to click edit in order to get the properties button to be available, even though there was. Why not just check the page out to you if you click the properties button and check it back when you're done, which we do on the sitemap. So.
Sure, so you can go right, quickly change a custom attribute without having to mess around with edit mode a whole lot.
Yeah, that edit state that Matt is showing with the screenshot is the thing you get before you even check a page out for edit mode. So you just mouse over edit and click it and you get that drop down menu.
And yes, the drop down menu will be aware of permissions and only show you stuff that you should be able to do and everything. But very much in kind of the vein that we've always done of show people what they need to see, not everything that they can do. Treat the interface as a useful experience in discovery and not an overwhelming avalanche of features.
Yeah.
There's no
discoveries.
Discoveries. We're not going to have a tool ribbon bar of here's everything that anyone ever might want to do.
We almost did.
Almost did, but this is much, much better. Let's look at the next screenshot.
Okay, let's bring up number 4.
No, you skipped a few.
Did I?
Yeah, there's 2 more in that editing toolbar.
Oh, were those are labeled?
Yeah, they had like a dash after.
Oh, okay. I think those are 6 and 7.
Yeah, they could be, but they were really good. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
So there's an exciting new intelligent search feature. If you have a Mac and you enjoy Searchlight, it's pretty much ripped off wholesale from that. But, that works. So that's why we did that. So you can go up in there, you start typing, this thing will autocomplete, and it will look for stuff on your own system that you may want to get to, specifically any dashboard page. I guess the other kind of background you need to know for this to make more sense is we're breaking all the dashboard. We're breaking everything.
Everything is broken.
Everything is broken. We're breaking the dashboard pages up into much more granular chunks. So if you've ever
Wondered how to change your cache settings.
that whole settings page with the like 17 blocks that have nothing to do with each other, you will no longer see that. Each one of those things is its own page. It'll have a nice little explanation as to what it does with a question mark. So you really just get to what you need to without having to see a whole bunch of junk in your way. So to make that easier, when you start typing user in this thing, you will see that top part of the list will bring back user add, user edit, user list, like anything that you might do, anything in the dashboard with user in the name.
In this example, we typed in page, so you get page search as part of your first section, and then since there's an entire section called pages and themes, you get that section and everything underneath it, and then you also get some additional stuff that's not hosted on your local site.
Right. So, yeah, what are we actually looking at? You get the dashboard. You get the pages and themes are showing like sections from within the dashboard. So those first two sections are kind of like the sitemap, and the pages and themes. Those are, one might think, like the parent levels within the dashboard. We are also searching help from concrete5.org. And we'll be able to control which articles go in there and which ones don't, so we won't be giving people information for 5.5 that is no longer accurate, like how to change site name. So frequently I think people are just using the thing and wondering, how do I X? And you start typing e-commerce in there, you're going to find how-tos on e-commerce, and you're going to find add-ons and themes for e-commerce too.
Yep.
That last little section is stuff from the marketplace. So if you're a marketplace developer, and you think, gee, it's really awfully frustrating that people have to dig so deep into concrete5.org or know about the community to buy stuff, fret no more. Your wares will be distributed and shown to everyone all the time.
I mean, right now, if you try and go to a Concrete5 site and you've done it through simple scripts, you have no experience with the project, and you're like, well, how do I change this image out with a gallery? Like, good luck.
Good luck, right.
But right now, you could type in gallery.
You don't even need to type gallery. You can type gal.
Yeah, and it would just start.
You're gonna start seeing image galleries right down there.
And
Very exciting.
And all that kind of stuff.
And I mean, just to put this in context, there are 75,000 users on concrete5.org. You have to be a user to buy something. So, and most, I don't know what percentage of them actually bought something or not, but no more than 75,000 people have bought something from us. But there's 250,000 Concrete5 sites out there, give or take.
Yeah.
So, you do the math on that. So that's very exciting. You can jump, and that thing works really elegantly now. You can hit tab and you're typing in there already. You can hit return. It's going to go to the highlighted one. It feels an awful lot like Searchlight does in the Mac.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. And then there was one more shot in that kind of series that I wanted to show.
Is it the dashboard?
Yeah, it's the dashboard drop down. Because one might look at that and say, well, that's awesome, Franz, but I don't want to have to type users every time. No,
Not that one?
Dashboard drop down. No, that's attributes. No. It was another one that was 2-6, I believe.
Okay, we just showed 2-6.
Well, how about 2-5?
2-5? All right, we can bring that up.
There we go.
Okay.
Non-linear discovery experience.
Well, that's all right. You made it to the video.
That's good. It's awesome.
So yeah, when you click the dashboard, you get a little drop down that actually shows all of the important pages that you might be able to jump to in the dashboard. Searching is cool and a great way to get around, but sometimes you just want to get the lay of the land and what am I actually looking at. This screenshot, I don't believe you had any add-ons installed, but if you had add-ons that created dashboard pages, they will actually show up at the bottom of that drop-down in a slightly grayed area. So you can see, here's all the core stuff up top, here's here's the bottom stuff down below. So yeah, as you add, let's see, Lucas saying, can we extend any of these screens?
Well, the dashboard drop-down will extend automatically.
Extends itself.
Yeah. You can't extend the editing drop-down currently, but you can, if you look at the free multilingual add-on, there's a thing that we haven't documented, which is not called a menu, the concrete interface menu, class, which if you look at the internationalization add-on, that lets you add to the toolbars.
So you could add a button to the toolbar.
And which is what we use for the sitemap and file manager.
And you will be able to extend where intelligent search is searching and what it's searching.
Yes.
So we're working now on, hey, should that maybe search some of the forum? Perhaps we could just search forum posts that had been marked as helpful a number of times, that kind of thing, because sometimes there's better information in there than there is in the how-tos. So the way that works is there's kind of like the local search happens instantaneously. The remote search is a little bit more deliberate and Ajaxy and whatnot. And we're working on making indexes and pushing those indexes to an S3 cloud instance, so we're not going to beat up concrete5.org because obviously,
Be typing a lot.
yeah, 200-some thousand sites. Like I don't want my site to die. So we're going to be putting indexes up in the cloud, and there's more kind of thinking in that vein going on now. But we are building in. We're keeping white labeling kind of a not the fore of our mind, but definitely as kind of like the punctuation to any of these decisions. So there will be an easy way that you can swap out our logo in the corner with your own. Turn the toolbar into kind of like your CMS powered by concrete5, and then be able to change where the intelligent search is searching for external sources, and some other stuff that we'll get into later.
And that dashboard drop down is like, it's funny, I always use the intelligent search in stuff, in the Mac or whatever.
Sure.
But like having been using Concrete5, the 5.5 and developing on it and needing to jump around between pages, that dashboard drop down is really addictive.
That's nice.
It is so much nicer than the current editing interface. And I never thought, I was like, well, why would we need this table of contents? Like, why can't we? I mean, we have gone back and forth.
There was a lot of back and forth.
But it's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, you're going from like, if you want to add a custom attribute to like a user account, you were like 8 clicks away before, and now it's 1.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
It's nice.
Also, I think just giving people the lay of the land on like, because the dashboard now, I mean, like it was bevelly and stuff, so that was nice. But it was always just like you were digging a hole.
Yeah.
Like what's? Oh God, there's like a hidden little 3rd level nav in there.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
crap! And now it's like, boom, here's everything. Think about it, and you can figure it out. Okay, now we can get to the shots you're so eager to show, Matt.
All right, I'm going to take a leap of faith, and
I numbered the damn thing.
I'm going to guess which
Okay.
we're talking about here.
How about custom attributes?
If I could get some sort of preview to like see what I'm actually clicking on and use
It's
producer.
okay. They're all.
All right.
Yes.
Nice.
Awesome.
So,
It's the properties pop up.
yeah, properties pop up and then what we're looking at custom attributes. I
Yes.
think? Yeah. So attributes now don't look horrible. I don't know. You want to explain this one, Andy? It's
Yeah,
too
could
small
you
for
click
to
on
see.
the bigger, like on your right monitor, Matt? You
Show
you
us
see it a
so we
little
can
bit
see what we're
bigger.
looking at.
Yeah.
Thanks. So yeah, what we're looking at here is reskinned and updated page properties dialog box with the custom attributes tab selected. So we're not seeing the basic properties like name and user and public date or the page paths thing, but you can see those tabs up there. But what we are seeing is kind of an example of our new pop-up window and some new functionality too. So the custom attributes that you all know and love on a page are controlled with that little select menu. They can't be reordered. You can't, if you have more than 10, it's a real bear. You can't add them to defaults pages. They're limiting and slow and just kind of an eyesore, not our best work. So this is an updated version of that with a bunch of new functionality and a fresh coat of paint. So what we have here are page attributes that have been grouped into sets. And so those sets you can reorder in the dashboard, much like you can user attributes. So you can put them into groups of attributes, and we have them as page header and navigation and indexing. So we put all our meta attributes like meta title and header extra content into one group, and then stuff like exclude from nav into another. And once you put them in there, you can reorder them and from within the dashboard. And then you can filter down the same way you can block types. So if you just know you need to add exclude from nav, you can start typing in that little search box and it will show up, and you'll click on it or use enter and it will add it to the right hand side. And once you do that, you can fill them out the same way you can today.
Nice.
So just a
Looks 1,000 times
Yeah.
better, and also gives you a sense as to the, just I think the first one that we're showing of the actual, oh my god,
that's much.
the actual, how Bootstrap applies to our interface. So, oh god. What did you do? Put it back. There we go. So,
You see that on startup every time. I don't know. If
no, I don't think we just saw that. That was exciting. So you can see like these windows now have a very nice kind of flat header with a consistent X in the corner. There's no more of the, I mean, some of our Chrome kind of felt like a, I don't know, like a popsicle dipped in icy fire.
The button
The
states.
buttons are a little bit intense. So now it's just a little bit more friendly and flat. You've got this stripe across the bottom with these very standardized buttons. Bootstrap has an awesome style guide in terms of like dealing with different colors. Blue for this is safe, and green for optional, and red for danger and stuff. So
We're using their tab styles.
Tab
We're using
styles.
their small, uppercase text header stuff. But it also plays nice with some of the styles in our own stuff that we don't hate, like the block drop downs and stuff. Like it all looks really nice.
it's a nice evolution for us.
Yeah, and
So everything will feel this way. There will be no windows from the old UI.
there's a resizable window. If you look at the lower right-hand
Yeah,
corner,
stretch
they're
them
all
out.
draggable because
Trying to be nice to the netbook people.
we are swapping over to the jQuery UI dialog class throughout, which will probably
And we'll do a new version of TinyMC in here as well,
Yep.
so you can make it iPad-ish. It's not going to be like 1,000 times awesome for iPad, but you'll be able to do basic editing with iPad, which would be nice.
yeah.
And there's one more kind of windowy one. We'll show that, and then we'll get to the question.
The file name.
I believe it is the file
We
manager.
got the file manager right here.
Yes, sir.
Shananana. We see a larger one on top of the.
Yeah, I'll pull that up.
That's so much nicer for us. So you can get an idea here of, here's the file manager. So this is a window that would not be on top of your website. This is the file manager in the dashboard. So the most obvious thing that you see is there's a big, weird, Bing-like photo in the background. And that is in fact true. We are going to have a photo of the day in the background of the dashboard. Again, that'll be something that you'll be able to control as a white labeling feature if you want to just turn that into a gray image or your own awesome agency kind of screenshot or
It's gonna be
whatever.
a bunch of concrete5 skin add-ons.
Yeah,
Like
I'm sure.
Hot cars.
I'm sure, totally.
Actresses.
But in general, by default, this will pull a photo of the day that we'll manage off of the cloud. It'll be a really cool opportunity for us to kind of continue to build the sense of concrete5 being a community and group of people that are real and human and want to see you express yourself on the web effectively. We will have a rights thing in the corner there, and hopefully it'll be a fun PR opportunity for us. The other thing you're getting a sneak peek of on this screenshot is there's a little blue bar that has dropped down from your toolbar. This is available anywhere, and there's no content on the left on this one, but there's actually two different things going on here. On the right, you can see there's a set of links that are showing up there. That is a actual breadcrumb, so it's not showing the hierarchy of where you are, it's showing the last few pages you've been at. So since with intelligent search and that dashboard dropdown, you can really just jump around wherever you need to go, we're just kind of showing you everywhere that you've been. You can click on any one of those and jump right back. That thing updates as you go, and I keep track of it when you're in site too.
Yep,
So like
it's
if
on
you're
site.
wandering around your product pages and whatnot, that's always there. You roll up to the editing toolbar, that slides down. You roll away, it slides back up. On the left-hand side of that, it actually functions as a bookmark bar. So you can see in the upper corner of the file manager window, there's a little star icon. You click that bad boy, and the link to a file manager will kind of float up to the left, and will always be there in your quick nav bar, we're calling that.
And you can, as a concrete5 developer, this will be available from any dashboard page that's been updated to include the new styles.
Yep.
So we have to add those. That's part of what Franz is going to enlist help on. We
Yep.
just need we have a bunch of busy work to
Yep.
add this functionality to that stuff. That you see, there's a help icon up there, which we need to write the copy for, make sure it all works. But you can, by default, if you click that little star, it just is a bookmark to your page. But you can script out exactly how that works. So on the sitemap, for example, that star is responsible for sticking the bookmark to the sitemap overlay into your header bar. So we are ditching those little options that say include file manager and sitemap buttons.
The ones we broke with the last review.
Yeah, we're ditching.
Sorry,
those.
Jordan.
Yeah, well, that was a mistake. But we are actually ditching those because you can just bookmark those pages, and when you bookmark them, instead of taking you away from your page, they will call the overlay. So you can. If you
if it's
your pages
appropriate, your
right, you
dashboard
can make
page can be an overlay versus a standalone, depending on where you are, which is amazing. Other things that are cool in this window, like Andy said, there's a little question mark up there. We don't have a screenshot for it, but there's a little drop-down, tooltippy kind of help explanation for every page in your dashboard. This is the expanded version, so that whole kind of gray area is, you see search, that actually folds up. And there's a couple of different states of that, so you can have this so it just shows keyword search when you first come, expand it for more options. You have tabs inside of it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we have the add file interface. Some of this is subject to change, but the add file interface is a second tab on this. So that gives you a simple file input and an add multiple button, which we have today. So we no longer try and shoehorn that input interface into the top where it gets a little ugly.
Confused,
and then underneath, like the nicest thing to me about all this is underneath, since we've moved the advanced fields above the stuff, there's plenty of room to add columns and not smush the results and
you get
make
the whole
off the page and be ugly.
And hypothetically, this should be a resizable window, I would imagine.
This is not a dialogue window, so.
Oh, I see. So this actually is a page.
Yeah.
But, if your page is bigger or something.
Yeah, we are still experimenting with like a fluid grid for some of this stuff, where like file manager window could be 80% of your window, because if you actually look at the overlay at the front end of the site, it is totally 90% of your window, and this is fixed in the dashboard, so there's no reason why it couldn't be 90% of your dashboard page as well.
So we get a lot more real estate. It makes more sense to organize things this way. So there you go. That's 5.5.
Yeah.
Or at least as much of it as we're going to show today. I guess some other background, we'll get into the Q&A. You may have noticed in our awesome intro, totally random.
It's totally awesome.
It's totally awesome. Greg, have you ever seen anything awesomer than that?
No.
Yep. And you may have caught Robert at the end of that. Robert is a designer who's been working with us full-time for a little bit now, and is very much responsible for us being able to pull off the exciting stuff that you're looking at. Thank you, Robert. So kind of next step for us with a lot of this is we're going to go through and finish breaking up the dashboard. Finish breaking up the dashboard, stub all those pages out. So what we're going to have is just a whole lot of broken dashboard pages, but at least divided in a way that makes sense. The tree looks good to us. We're going to send Robert through and have him define a style guide and a to-do list for each interface, and basically have a long list of, okay, someone needs to go into the cache settings page and make this broken form work and look like that. So that kind of work we would love to not have to make Andy do all of himself, because there's plenty of other big things in the works. And if you have any time that you are actually willing to commit in early November, we know we're going to have this available in early November. We're going to do kind of a private alpha invite, still going to keep it somewhat closed up in GitHub, I think, until we get to beta. But if you've got a block of hours and you want to help us kind of reskin these dashboard pages, we would love to have that. I'm going to make a forum post later today and attach these screenshots to it so you can see them not in a video and blurry. And I'll link to some type of forum there where you can tell us what availability you have to help with this. If you don't, that's cool. You're still going to get 5.5. But if you do, it would certainly help us get the thing out the door.
You'll get some karma points.
We'll definitely get karma
listed
points.
in some credits.
Put you in some credits. Maybe I'll send you a shirt.
Anyone who wants to get a jump on knowing exactly what we're doing, it would probably be smart for you to take a look at the Twitter Bootstrap library.
Yes.
So this is a library that was released by Twitter. It has nothing to do with Twitter the protocol or Twitter the app. It was released by the web team from Twitter as a way to, bring some nice typography and widgets to to web app creators. And this is, there's a grid, there's style sheets, there's form stylings, just stuff that they decided makes the web a more beautiful place.
Really nice style guide. We're not adhering to it mindlessly or completely,
No.
but we're definitely using it as a starting point for a lot of decisions.
Yeah, so we have extended it a bit. We are using it with less, which is something you'll also want to check out.
What is less?
Less is a style sheet compiler,
Yes.
so it is a way to, for things in CSS3 like gradients, Firefox and Safari support them with completely separate syntaxes, and they are also subject to change.
Right.
So what less lets you do is define a shorthand. So you say, basically functions in your CSS. So
Cool.
like, I want a gradient that goes from black to white, and then when you compile it down to CSS, less takes care of minifying it for you and writing out the different syntaxes that browsers require. So we are using that with Twitter Bootstrap. We've added many of our own styles to it. We have also namespaced it, so it doesn't apply to everything mindlessly because that would break sites. So you have to wrap it in a CCM-UI class, and we're going to need help doing a lot of this stuff. But you should definitely take a look at it, look at how you can make inputs and forms behave with it. There's some classes that are easy to get up and running with. We were able to understand this thing in under a couple hours.
Yeah.
It just looks
It's cool.
It looks great.
All
We're
right.
happy with it.
Any questions?
Looks like we do have some questions.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, that is not surprising.
All right, with all these connections, asks Lucas, to the marketplace, picture of the day, etc., is there a concern that it will affect site and back-end performance? And are there fail-safes for when the cloud breaks?
Yes. No one. Yes, and no. No?
No,
Yes.
well, there would be. Your
Yes
site
and no.
won't die.
Your site won't die.
Yeah.
Yes, we are building all this stuff, so if it can't connect to our site, you get a graceful message, not a funky error. We're also building it so it's not going to hit our site, but will rather hit S3. And that'll save concrete5.org from an overwhelming flow of traffic. I think there's actually one problem that is really nicely suited for the cloud. And if you have read much of what I've written and think, you know that I don't mindlessly think that. So we're going to be posting a lot of kind of static files and stuff to a cloud, and you'll hit that, and good times for Amazon.
Yeah, and that intelligence search dropdown actually, the way it works when you're searching, you have a local sort of cache of results that get added to the page in a hidden area when you come to a page. And if you type sitemap in, you are displaying those pages immediately locally. And then the off-site searching for help and marketplace add-ons happens off-site, and if it dies, it dies gracefully.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have to wait for those searches to complete or not complete before the drop-down is visible. Those local results come immediately. And all of the the welcome screens, the dashboard pages that hit our site, they are going to start local, so they will always be available if your site is there. And then as you continue to get more external information from concrete5.org, they will be fetched on a need-to-have basis.
And there's also, tangentially, quite a few pretty deep changes that we've made for performance and whatnot. We don't need to get into today.
Yeah.
But there are other things going on on just a typical page render without using any of the new tools that should make the average browsing and editing experience several times faster. Significantly.
Noticeably, definitely noticeably
faster.
And not just from a rendering to an end user perspective, but also to trying to save the people who are actually editing their sites, who we have forced to download many JavaScript and CSS files, trying to save their HTTP connections as well.
Yeah, and little things that we're doing in the new interface, like a whole bunch of icons we haven't shown. We did all the icons for all the windows, and instead of those being separate calls, that's just one big image that we're doing the sprite stuff with.
Yep.
Things like that. Actually caring about performance from the bottom up, which is, at least back in, 2007, 2008, was kind of like, we'll worry about that
later. Is now.
Later is now. Now is later.
Yeah.
Yes. What else?
Okay, got a question about 5.5 from our Draco Media. They would like to know, will there be an option to add tracking code to the header of your page, just
Yes.
like you can add it to the footer now?
Yes, that was actually one of the first things that you wireframed,
That
I
was.
think, for one of our broken out sections. I remember it.
Yep.
Yes.
There were 2 different sections for that. Now, I can't promise you that every theme in the marketplace will honor that as well. I guess we
No,
probably can, actually.
unless you forked your header required file, which you will not be pleased with if you upgrade. It should work.
Cool. Yes.
All right, question from
Yeah.
Beebs93.
I like those questions.
With the new UI workflow of the CMS, will there be some official documentation we can give clients, like basic usage, how-tos, etc.?
Yes.
That's a good answer.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
Yes. We'll get more into that more next week, I think. There's, I guess I'll just say that there is going to be a continued push on our end to really kind of step more into the media creation side of things and certainly not leave behind our software development ways, but really kind of extend the work that we're doing here into more writing about concrete5 and creating more how-tos ourselves and videos and whatnot, and you'll see why next week. Next.
I think we've answered all the questions proper right now, but I see here NT has a comment wondering what he's going to have to do to get his add-ons to work with the new design. Do you have any tips or suggestions?
We are doing what we can to support legacy dashboard styles. So, the excuse me, blocks that have been around should all still work. We haven't fundamentally changed the editing experience. It's just got new tone of paint, and it also the reason we have to remake all these screens is because you have to kind of opt your display, whether it's block editing or dashboard page, into this new setup. So it's definitely, they may not necessarily look as good as the stuff that's been really tailored for 5.5, but existing dashboard pages, we preserve some of the styles that we know we've been using for a long time. So they will maybe not necessarily have all the functionality, like the add to quick nav or the help icon in the corner or whatever, but they look, for the simpler stuff, they look,
This should function.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should totally function. They should look
We're
decent.
also going to update parts of the PRB and kind of add-on management interface to to let you determine which versions of concrete5 versions of your add-ons work with, and also change default behavior on subsequent versions of concrete5. So you may say, well, that's cool and all, but I know that such and such add-on of mine may not work all that great with 5.5, so I'd rather not people install it and then have to deal with a bunch of support requests. So you'll have the ability to kind of turn that off. So you can serve an older version of your add-on to an older version of concrete5,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I think that made sense as
Yeah.
I said it. Anything else?
Minkris would like a roadmap of stuff we need.
Well, there's plenty of stuff to do. There's a few things in the blog that still are things that we need.
Yeah, we'd still like to incorporate that stuff, the authentication stuff.
The authentication thing would be awesome.
And then once we get closer to the end of our Skunk Works phase, I think we'll have a specific roadmap for the UI stuff that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, certainly. If you've got time in November that you want to help, we need to know how much time that is, and we're really going to take a very different approach, or a much more
hands-on.
hands-on.
specific.
Thank you. Hands-on approach to actually managing who's doing what and trying to get all this stuff rescanned. So I think the easiest thing to think about there is just the tremendous amount of pages that are going to need to be skinned and tested and made work in the dashboard there. It's kind of low-hanging fruit that needs to get done. But that authentication framework thing would actually be really handy. Some conversations that we're having yesterday. If anyone wants to get that done and per the definition in the roadmap section of our blog, we would deeply appreciate it.
A question from John the Fish. He wants to know, will add-ons be able to self-configure to work with both 5.5 and 5.4x?
We can serve up, or we will be able to serve up different versions of different files, which correspond to different versions of add-ons to different versions of Concrete 5. So If you wanted to maintain 2 separate branches in parallel, you could definitely do that.
If you wanted to.
If you wanted to. If you wanted to also be able to continue making your add-on available for 5.4.2 and older while working on one for 5.5, and then sort of say, I don't want this add-on to go away, but to get newer versions of my add-on, you got to update your site to concrete5.
You can do that.
To 5.5.
You should be able to do whatever you would need to. I mean, any case that you could have as a developer, you should be able to handle once we update the marketplace.
I wouldn't necessarily advocate for trying to, in the same add-on package, like detect and serve different interfaces.
No, you'd be able to serve a different file to different versions if you're connecting through the community and all that.
Yeah.
What else?
Chris wants to know, will S3 be added to the core or as an external add-on?
I don't think so.
Well, we
File store or something.
yeah, the what Franz is talking about is sort of like the custom places where we point the search. So
Yeah.
right now we're searching concrete5.org directly in our beta versions, and not in beta versions. And what we'll be doing is we'll be pointing to a different location for those indexes. But to answer that question more generically, someone had been working on extending the file storage locations to be packageable, and I meant to write that up as to go on the roadmap too, but just haven't had a chance to. It's kind of stalled just because we haven't had the time to properly. It was about 75% there. And basically, make a separate file storage location configurable as a package. And
That strikes me as a really good idea for 5.5.1.
yeah, it's there. It's been started. I'm trying to remember who did it. There's pull requests for it. Just it's not quite there yet.
A question from Ollie. He wants to know, does a private marketplace or add-on and install suite feature into 5.5 at all?
Like, if you were a white labeling partner, you could install a package that you uploaded but didn't offer publicly to everyone in the marketplace. I mean, something like that.
Might be talking about pointing the marketplace search feed to a subsection of add-ons that you're gonna allow.
Yeah, or do you mean as a white labeling person, you might say, I only want to let my clients see this set of themes and add-ons from the public marketplace because these are the ones I have vetted for them. Yeah, that kind of thinking is going on here. I don't know how much of that is going to exist in 5.5. Some of that might be 5.5.1 or 5.5.2.
It's definitely been kicked around.
But those two things are definitely on our radar as smart things to do. We're believers in that. Anything else?
That's it for now.
Cool.
Oh, one more from Chris if you want to take this. Will events be extended so that you can return messages that are shown to the user?
We haven't really. It's tough because the events, the way that they can potentially stack from multiple add-ons, makes it a little bit challenging to return anything. We probably have to stick something in session or do something like that. There's no plan. There are no plans to do that officially today, but if there were a reliable way to do that, it'd be great if we could.
Yep. All right. Yeah, time is getting away from us. So it's time for us to get back to work. But I will post these screenshots to a thread somewhere, probably in community leaders.
To a public blog post.
To a public blog post that I will then send out a press release about. No, I will not. I'll put this somewhere where you guys can find it, and if you have time to help in November, we would really appreciate it. But thank you for being so patient with us for, I guess, really this entire year.
Make our own site pretty.
Yeah.
Had to make
A lot to do, but hopefully you guys are as excited about it as we are. It's really pretty fun to look over Andy's shoulder and see this stuff. I frequently look over his shoulder and think, oh my God, what CMS is that? We're in trouble. And I realize that it's ours.
nice.
So, looking forward to the end of the year very much and would love to have your help. Thank you.